Welcome to the first episode of Fridays Are For Friends. I'm here with a talented, amazing artist, singer, and songwriter, Amelia, who just dropped a song titled Why Go to Heaven. Please tell us a little bit about that.
Thank you. So I actually wrote Why Go to Heaven, the hook part of the song probably about a year and a half ago. And then I had it on a whole different production track. It just never really got anywhere and we never finished it. And so then I kind of recycled those lyrics when I was working with my friend and producer Miles in LA back in April. And he kind of showed me the instrumental and the production, and it kind of just clicked. And I was like, these lyrics work a lot better with this. And so we kind of wrote out the whole song together, and I just really liked it from the very beginning and decided to put it out.
And is that your normal way of songwriting, or what's your normal process when it comes to songwriting?
I think I'm definitely a lyrics forward artist. Lyrics is usually what I start with. I don't bring so much of the production side into sessions, and I usually leave that up to people that I trust and work with often. And yeah, I would just say if I have a whole piece of a song already written, then that's the easiest way to go about it, because then I can just kind of riff off of what I've already written. Or if I just even have a word or a phrase in my notes, I kind of like to work off of that as the theme of the song, or just putting that into the hook or verse or something.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
And when we're talking about working with specific producers or different musicians, I know you work a lot with Andrew and your friend Miles. What is it like to build a relationship with someone like that when they're trying to help you, work on the artist's vision that you're going for?
I think it happens super organically, and specifically with Andrew, he came and watched me perform probably 4 or 5 years ago. We knew each other through mutual groups, and our management knew each other. And so we kind of just organically started working together. He started playing shows with me because he's also not only a songwriter and singer, but he's an incredible musician as well. He plays guitar so well. So I was like, let me help me help you kind of thing. If you need anything, I got you. Play these shows with me because you're so talented. And we've also written songs together. He's just always down to do music for the love of music. And I think that's really important, and kind of keeping those people around.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And talk about your development as an artist. How did you get to the point you are at today?
I think it's so cliche because everyone's it's a lifetime of whatever. But it really is as a kid, I loved songwriting. I played piano my whole life. And I had really good parents and really good grandparents that always pushed me and urged me to take every opportunity that I could, and just not really caring about what other people thought growing up, not being afraid to take risks. And once I got in a position where I was able to start putting out music, I was like, let's just see how this goes. And like I said, just keep doing it for the love of what it is, and not trying to chase these numbers or whatever, but doing it organically and doing it to feed this part of my soul that just has to do it, that needs it to keep going. So I don't even necessarily know the end goal of where I'm going, but I'm just enjoying making music with my friends.
For sure. Yeah, it's so easy to get caught up in the numbers of it all,
Mm-hmm.
but you have to do it for the love of it. And that's the most important. Speaking about your just artistry in general, what or who is your biggest inspiration?
That's always such a hard one. It changes so much. I would say growing up, I was big 90s, 2000s, pop. So Nelly Furtado was a big inspiration for me, lyrically and vocally. And that kind of has stuck with me vocally. I think the first song that I ever was obsessed with, my mom had Cher on cassette tape. So on the way to pre-K, that was how I would get amped to go to pre-K.
Nice.
So those were just them as women too, and as women in the industry and performing and stuff. I really respected them. And then kind of modern day, I would say Lana Del Rey's rollouts and her decisions on music festivals, and kind of her whole aesthetic is just she's packaged up so well as an artist, and I really respect that.
Yeah. So who would your dream collab be?
So I would say someone really fun that I have always respected as an artist as well, that really takes it into a whole almost performance art, is Tyler, the Creator. And I feel he would be so fun to work with. I look up to him lyrically as well. And I think that would just be a good time to be around him.
Yeah. And Honestly, he's one of my biggest inspirations, especially when it comes to performances. Right now, I think he's probably the greatest performer,
Yeah, for sure.
especially in our generation. And going into the performances, you do a lot of performances as well. Can you talk and give advice to maybe upcoming artists about what you have to do to prepare yourself for these shows and performances, and what it feels like when you're up there, and how you should stay like calm and poised in the moment?
I would say preparation wise, I honestly like studied a lot of other performers growing up and currently. So before a show, I might pull up a performance that I really, really remembered and loved. And I might be like, how are they looking at the audience? How are they connecting to the audience? And kind of just not copying what they do necessarily, but holding that confidence that they do, and just making it a memorable experience for everyone, and going up there and not letting fear hold you back, which also sounds really cheesy, but it's true, because it's so easy to get like stage fright and like shut down or whatever. And I used to get really, really bad stage fright. But literally, like, I can't remember who said it, but they're like, how do you want to remember this moment? And like, do you want to look back and be like, I was too scared to get on stage? Or do you want to like showcase your talent? That's like why you're here. And I was like, okay, heard. So I like had to just basically keep performing in order to not be scared anymore. But yeah, just doing it.
For sure.
Yeah.
And what's your most like memorable performance to date?
I did a show at the Masquerade actually a couple years ago, and I guess it was just like the energy of the audience. I had so many close like family and friends there, and like my dad got to be there and stuff, which was really special to me. And he had seen a lot of bands there previously, and it was just kind of full circle for him too, because he was like, wow, this is like, I'm seeing my daughter play the show, and there's names on the green room that like he like looked up to as like musician as well. So he was just like really proud of me, and I think that like stuck with me through the whole performance. And I was like, this feels really good to like have everyone here, and just felt kind of like a little reunion. So that was cool.
And how do you maintain like a work-life balance trying to be an artist in these times?
It's tough. There's weeks that like I don't feel creative at all, because I'll be so burnt out doing other just like life things. We live in a time where it's pretty hard to just take the artist route. I feel like that used to be a lot easier when money was like easier to come by, or like rent was cheaper back in the day. But you still want to be in like a city where you can make these connections and be in rooms that make sense for you to be in. And so I would just say I try to take care of myself as much as possible in like recharging myself if I've had a really busy week, because then I know I can execute like performances and songwriting better if I'm in that mental state and I feel my best too.
Yeah. So when you're in these creative blocks, what do you do to get out of it?
I say like just showing up. If you feel like you can't write, show up to the page. Like take your pen out, put it on the paper, and you might surprise yourself. Like that's been the hardest thing for me to understand, is like, it's kind of like if when you don't feel like working out, you're like, maybe I'll just go lay on my yoga mat and see what happens. And I feel like just practicing that and just like showing up, no matter what comes out or what doesn't come out, physically being there can make the difference.
100%. Because then it comes about like consistency, really is what it's about. And even if you don't have your greatest performance or make the greatest song, at least you showed up for yourself.
Yeah.
And then you can always remember that and just continue off that momentum.
Yeah.
And what is one piece of advice you would give to upcoming artists?
I would say there's no such thing as skipping steps. I think we also live in a very interesting time where everyone thinks that things can be bought, numbers can be bought, followers can be bought. I would never suggest doing that. And I see it happen. I've seen it happen with friends where like they have like fake numbers and fake streams and stuff. And then you're not prepared as like a performer if you get the opportunity because your numbers look good. And then they're like, okay, play this festival, and you've never played a festival before. So it's just like making sure you're taking every single step in perfecting yourself as an artist, and just making sure you're prepared so that when that big opportunity does come, you actually are the person that you say you are.
Yeah, 100% agree. Yeah. And the last thing, can you please tell the audience where they can find you? Yeah. Plug yourself as much as you want.
Thank you. My new single is Why Go to Heaven. It's on all streaming platforms. And my social media is at Amelia on the Beat on all streaming, or not streaming, on all social media platforms.
Please go stream her music. She is incredible. And once again, thank you so much for coming to the first ever episode of Fridays Are For Friends.